In the heart of Yorkshire's rugged terrain lies the captivating expanse of the Dales, a wilderness of untamed beauty and challenging landscapes that beckon the adventurous spirit. My recent expedition into this formidable domain was nothing short of an odyssey, a journey filled with moments of doubt, camaraderie, and ultimately triumph. Why am I doing this? This is the question I asked myself countless times on this trip. What was meant to be a simple excursion for a pub dinner and an overnight stay in a Bothy turned into a grueling 24 hours of survival.
What clothes are you going to wear?
Got a jacket, willing on a stone jet.
Yeah, look at us.
I've got to change the clothes, yeah.
Yeah. Keeping same bottoms like that.
So I've got a pair of underpants and a pair of socks.
The conditions regard we'll decide which bottom.
Alright, off we go. 100k north, let's do this. On the first proper climb of the trip, Norwood Edge. Didn't really look at the route before I came, so I didn't realise until this morning that we're heading straight up Norwood Edge. 1 hour in, not even that, 40 minutes in, and straight to Norwood Edge, fully backed up bike. Yeah, and it's one of the hardest climbs in the area, so it's not fun at all. But just about have enough gears. And we're just ticking along. Got Peter and Will just up ahead of me, and then the other two are just behind me. And yeah, we're gonna tap out a nice and easy tempo and get to the top. I nearly dropped out of the trip a couple of days before, as Yorkshire was blanketed with snow, but the forecast of 10 to 12 degrees in the days before we set off, it was thought that the snow would have melted. It wasn't until we got to the top of Norwood Edge that I realised how wrong we were. Questing the climb was like entering another world, and despite my initial reservations, we decided to plough on.
Well, that's a change you want to make anyway. It's all wide.
The first proper off-road section was across Pockstones Moor. Turning off the road, the gravel double track quickly disappeared below a layer of ice and snowdrifts. At first I wasn't sure if it would be possible to ride, however the ice quickly turned to slush under the tyres and I was having a load of fun putting my CX and off-road skills to good use.
Good start.
As we climbed higher over the moor, the worse the conditions were and the slower the going got. By now you could no longer see the track beneath the snowdrifts, and the drifts were so deep in places that we had no other choice but to walk. With each laboured pedal stroke and the trudge through the snow, the question nagged at my mind: why am I doing this? This section seemed to take hours. It was a case of riding as much as you could, which might have been 20, 30 metres, then jumping off the bike and trudging through the snowdrifts, and jumping back on the bike for another 20 metres before jumping off again.
No, I'm looking up there. I just said it.
You like climbing out of there?
Try not to do that again.
Oh, look, you can make it. It's split. It's a split in the side or right on the side. Quite seal. I'm gonna sit on the shop and everything.
You got an energy?
Sure.
Yeah, I got an energy.
In the shop, but that's shorter.
So we just made it to Grassington, which isn't even halfway, and yeah, we've been going for a good 4 hours, pretty much 4 hours of riding. Well, actually only about 3 hours of riding, but we've been out for 4 hours. So yeah, very slow, lots of hiker bike. So yeah, we're gonna have to make a bit of a change, and yeah, head instead of doing the next gravel route, we're gonna stay on the road. Yeah, so far so good, but yeah, it's getting a little bit colder now. Yeah, well, getting cold because it's so much walking.
Send it 20 minutes to get another one.
Did you try? You're gonna find it. You're not going in the dark. What's the book I feel out?
No, struggling in the light.
Was it from the crash earlier? Yeah, just right backside turns. Good. He's hurting. Let's get you to the pub, mate. That's what I need. Let's get you to the pub, get you warmed up. You can go. Some one of us is sensible and one of us is stupid. Which way around? We'll find out later.
So Matt's hip is not playing up after being crashed earlier on. So us young lads have decided to take the smart option when it's going to get dark in about an hour to head directly to the pub. The old boys, Rich and Peter, have decided to carry on the route that was planned on this gravel track that you see over up there onto the moorland, and then over the top. Yeah, I think they still got quite a way to go, and if it was like anything like the first moorland where it's just so many snowdrifts and lots of hiker bike, yeah, we might not be seeing them for a few hours, but yeah, I'm gonna be quite glad. Like, just saying to the guys here before, I was like, I've enjoyed it so far, I've really enjoyed it, but I think my enthusiasm for the cold and the kind of drizzle we're having at the moment is kind of starting to wane, and I'm not really I'm not the best person to be around when my enthusiasm is completely gone. So yeah, I think it's best to call it a day, head directly to the pub, and then yeah, go at it again tomorrow.
Arriving at the pub provided a brief respite from the biting cold. The crackling fire and the hearty fare provided a comforting contrast to the unforgiving terrain we had already taken on. And by the time Richard and Peter finally showed up an hour and a half later, I was feeling myself again. Venturing back out into the cold, we set off towards the closest of the remote Bothys. This was a mere 2 kilometres away. What I wasn't told was that it was 2 kilometres up a steep incline. That climb became a journey into the unknown, with our senses heightened by the enveloping darkness and a climb that seemed to drag on for eternity. Again, that question nagging at the back of my mind: why am I doing this? A distant echo in the stillness of the night. When we reached that first Bothy, it was clear that there was no way all 5 of us on our bikes were going to fit, so we carried on to the second one 500 metres further down the track. With the conditions as they were, we certainly weren't expecting anyone else to be as stupid as we were out on the moors. So when we got to the second Bothy, we were surprised to find 3 people already sleeping inside. This left us with a decision: to pile into this Bothy and make ourselves extremely unpopular, or crack on to the third Bothy. But this is high up on the moor and a further 6 kilometres off-road. It would be big enough to house us all, and because of its remoteness was likely to be empty. However, speaking to the locals in the pub, they said it would be impossible to reach in these conditions. We chose to crack on, with a caveat that if it's impassable, we can always turn back. The journey to the third Bothy unravelled as a test of endurance and fortitude. Navigating snowdrifts, icy paths, and unseen obstacles, we pressed on with unwavering determination. That question was no longer in the back of my mind, but lingered in the frigid air, a constant reminder of the doubts and uncertainties that accompanied my every step and pedal stroke. When we finally reached the remote Bothy, a haven of refuge amidst the rugged wilderness of the Dales, what I longed for was the cosy confines of shelter that would welcome us with open arms. Instead, it was possibly one of the coldest nights of sleep I've ever had. Despite being a respite from the elements, a Bothy in February in the Dales is not a warm place at all, especially as this Bothy had an open fire, so unless you were right next to it, it was freezing. Luckily, we had brought enough fuel to keep the fire burning for most of the night, but to be honest, I'm not sure what difference it made. Stepping outside into the crisp morning air, it was a moment of quiet serenity and profound beauty, a juxtaposition of the trials of the night before.
So we just climbed up from Summer Water down there. Lovely kind of, it started on the road and then onto kind of this gravel track, which is kind of really the first kind of continuous gravel track that we've had for this trip, because The others have been gravel tracks, but yeah, it has been covered in snowdrifts and stuff, which has made going really tough. Yeah, having to get off, like last night, getting up to the Bothy, having to get off like pretty much every 20 metres and walk for 20 metres and ride for 20 metres and walk for 20 metres. Yeah, it took us ages to get up to the Bothy. Not very fun. But yeah, today's kind of challenge is the chunky rocks that we have underneath the tyres. Yeah, making it a little bit difficult, having to kind of pick your line and stuff. But the gradients aren't too steep, so it's not too bad. So this is meant to be the path, but with all the snowdrift, yeah, we'll have to go on there instead. Yeah, which is making things a little bit more difficult. What was I just saying about here being no snow today? Yeah, I was completely wrong about that, wasn't I?
Give it a countdown.
That was hard on the head, actually. That's pretty solid snow.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a bit softer.
It's really wet.
As we retraced our steps towards Leeds, the road back symbolised a return to familiarity and comfort. In the aftermath of our epic journey through the Dales, I'm reminded of the transformative power of the unknown. Our adventure, rife with uncertainties and challenges, served as a testament to the beauty and the unpredictability of the world around us, a reminder that true fulfillment often lies in the moments when we dare to venture beyond our comfort zones. The question, why am I doing this, lingers still, a haunting refrain that underscores the essence of adventure and discovery, a reminder that sometimes the greatest rewards come from facing our fears, confronting our doubts, and emerging stronger on the other side.